Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Dr. Stacy here. So excited you guys decided to join us on this Wednesday's business training. So keep in mind, tonight is a business training. So that means we won't be discussing anything to do with the product, right? No testimonials, no what about this problem or this condition or this issue or XYZ, whatever it may be to do with the product. That was Tuesday night. And didn't Dr. Don Warren do an amazing job
Yeah.
last night? He sure did. So we have lots of amazing testimonials and stories and information shared, of course, on my YouTube channel about the product. If you're not familiar yet with the LifeWaves, our team's newest team training, I'll put this in the chat for you guys. And this is a great resource for what videos to watch on the product immediately, and then what exactly to do to grow your business. And that is on mylifewavetraining.com. I just put that link in the chat. So you guys can go there and you can see all the information about the business and about the product that you need to know to get started with your business. And I'm so upset, Dean. I missed that 53-degree heat wave. I think we'll be 81 here tomorrow. So
Yay!
I plan on working on my tan tomorrow before the retreat next week.
I'm white. I look like I don't live in Florida.
Well, you spent a month in like North Carolina, Virginia, so
In Montana.
Montana. Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. So, Dean, you enjoy that heat wave. So, tonight we have a fantastic group of senior presidential directors that are going to be sharing with you several different things. We are going to be talking about, of course, the wrapping up of our senior director retreat incentive, which ends on Sunday. February the 2nd. Can you believe we're already saying February? It's hard to believe that, but we are. So that wraps up on Sunday. We still have a couple people that are super close to qualification, so we're cheering them on that they can hit that over the weekend. Sherry and Lauren, yep, Lisa and Ann, that are really close to hitting that senior director rank. So we got some people that are going to be talking about that. And then, of course, we have some others that are going to be sharing with you some information on our upcoming social media challenge. For those of you that joined us at Vision on Saturday, which was an incredible 4.5 hour training, lots of great information about corporate. And you know what? If you're new to LifeWave, you may be like, gosh, there's a lot of corporate information here in numbers and figures and statistics. And I'll just share this with you. For me, I mean, of course, I loved hearing Dr. Caitlin Connor's, rendition of our water machine. She was trying so hard not to say anything that wasn't compliant, but I'll address that here in just a second. But I loved hearing all the corporate updates with the countries and what they're doing and what's happening. I want you to think about this. For those of you that are like, gosh, that stuff was irrelevant on Saturday. I didn't really need to hear about all the countries and what they were doing. Do you not want to grow a global business? Because if you want to grow a global business, you need to know what's going on in other countries. And what you focus on expands. And if you focus on Asia, Pacific, right? APAC region. We just heard from Meg here that said it's summertime in New Zealand. Do you want a team in New Zealand? Do you want a team in Australia? You better be listening to what Dr. Chu says, because that region matters if you want to grow a business in the Asian Pacific. I have a great business growing in Europe and all over the EMEA. I'm all over what Claudia has to say, right? I want to know what the numbers are doing. I love that they're up 77% from last year. And I love that they have 67 events on their calendar corporate wise this year. It matters. If you want to grow, right? 67 corporate led events. Can't even. Oh my God, I love it. I know, right? You're like, oh, bless it. Anyway, if you want a global business, you need to know what's going on in other parts of the country, the world, in our company, right? Mexico, Canada, what's happening? Not just here in the US. Get out of this area. Get out of your, right? We're 8 billion people on this planet. 8 billion people. anyone from anywhere can join your business at any given time if you are open for them to come into your business. If you're in alignment and open for people around the globe to join you. And so if you're aware of what's going on in other countries, it's more likely that you're going to be able to attract those types of people into your business, right? Not just your little bitty tiny town that you live in, even though there may be 8, 10, 12, 15, 20,000 or more people that live there, which is more than enough to sustain a massive business, but not just here, but bigger, right? That's why we read The Science of Getting Rich, right? That's why we read Think and Grow Rich. That's why we read Florence Shen. That's why we're into all the things we are to expand our mind, expand our awareness, expand our perceptions, okay, globally. So I personally thought it was amazing. I don't know if you guys already took your survey. I did personally. I know more people wanted to hear from David with Vision, and I thought David did a fantastic job explaining the Sellergize. If you didn't see that on my YouTube channel, it's unlisted. I did post it in the page, so if you want that screen recording from Vision of just the Sellergize information, it is in the team page. And of course, it is on my YouTube channel. It's just unlisted. I don't really think I'm supposed to have screen grab that, but I did for you guys, so you would have that available. And if you have not yet listened to David talk about the water machine in depth with not only the Sellergize, but also the X39, those are already in your back office. He already did those trainings earlier this month and last month in your back office under the resources tab. Right there, front and center, brand new products. You can listen to those. They're only available right there in your back office. So that information was already shared, which is why he didn't go over it again, because he's already shared it and it's recorded. So the information from Dr. Caitlin Connor, I'll say this. I know many of you that are newer don't know Dr. Caitlin Connor. You haven't seen her on stage in the past, but just know that her kind of what some people thought was not really sure about the product or not sure about the efficacy of the water machine or of its effectiveness. It was just her way of not conveying the information that she saw in the studies. And she was kind of laughing a little bit and chuckling a little bit about it because, in a nutshell, you guys, the water machine fixes it all. That water fixes it all. If you heard her talk about the systems and the organs that were impacted, it was everything. And what they saw in the studies were radical changes in people's health. She can't say that. So she was trying to yeah, seems like it really covers it. She seemed like she was very aloof with it, but it was just the fact that she can't state the ramifications in people's health that were radically changed from just a little bit of water. So keep that in mind. It is already the most powerful thing on the planet right now that we know, besides let's just say outside of prayer, right? Because prayer is extremely powerful. That water machine, it's like nothing else. So definitely know that it was not her, not understanding her material. I know some people were like, I don't think she knew what she was talking about. I'm like, I don't think she could say. And I don't think David was in a place to say the power of that. So with that being said, you guys, Vision, if you have not got a chance to watch that, please get a hold of somebody that did have a ticket. We have 30 days for you to be able to watch it. It was definitely worth it. It was incredible with the information shared. It was incredible with the facts, the content, all the stuff shared, and the updates, the things that are coming in the future with LifeWave and where we're going as the fastest growing company in multi-level marketing, right? Top, fastest growing company, which is absolutely an amazing place to be. And I'm excited for your futures. I'm excited at the end of Vision. Sam Hind and her husband shared the social media challenge, and some people tonight are going to be talking about social media. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, of course. And for those of you that aren't interested in building social media, you're not into doing social media, totally fine. You don't have to at all. If you want to play around with it, join us on the 10-day challenge, see what happens. I know just for my one live unboxing video that I did, the other day. Was that Monday? I guess it was. Yeah, Monday I did my unboxing. I think there were like 5,000 views. I signed up several, well, many brand partners now. And there were some other people random that went on my website and signed up without even talking to me as PCs and retail. So, it's really powerful what social media can do for us, especially as there's ever changing components to our algorithm. So people are going to be talking about that a little bit. So if you want to jump in on that challenge, we can definitely have you click on the link that's in the team page and sign up. It's free for that 10-day challenge and just see. But if you don't want to do it, don't do it. You don't have to do it. I built all the way to the top of this company, senior presidential director, with no social media at all. We did that on purpose. Laura and I did that. Leah, we all did that on purpose to make sure that we knew that our field could build at the top of the company without social media, because we've done it in the past. We built on social media in the past, and we know the tricks and the tools and the techniques, and there's a lot to it. And if it's too much, then just don't do it. Because at the end of the day, this is a relationship business, right? Building relationships, connecting with people, and helping people with wherever they are, whatever's going on with them, but keeping it simple and keeping it fun, and having a good time while you're doing it. So, Laura, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know you've got several of your senior presidential directors on here that are wanting to share their tips and their strategies, their tools and their techniques. So I'm going to let you go ahead and have some conversations with them. And I know we've got some other senior presidential directors on here as well tonight that want to share as well.
Okay. Well, Jody's staring at me. So I'm going to go to Jody.
Let's get her to unmute. Go for it, Jody.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you. I just got off a wonderful Zoom with one of my managers downline that was in Espanol, so I'm like, oh. But it was awesome, awesome. And I love social media, and I got connected with her through social media. But I'm really looking forward to the social media training because I see things all the time that people are doing on social media, and I'm like, no, no, don't say that, don't do that.
So Jody, so you just got off the Zoom with this
Louis.
amazing team.
Mhm.
You say you got her off of social media. Share with everybody what you did that attracted her to begin the conversation with you guys.
Well, we actually knew her from another business. Um, you know, she just knew us
She
from
was
another
still
business.
watching you.
Yes,
Like,
so
I
she's
mean,
been
that's how she
watching
knew
us.
what you were
Yes.
doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. But the main thing I think about social media is you have to, a couple things, and you're going to learn way more than this from the social media training. I just absolutely can't wait for that. I think it's going to be excellent because social media does change from time to time. And I spent a lot of time in one of our other businesses on Instagram, and now I never get on Instagram. I don't, maybe because I burn it out doing that other business and spent way too much time the way we used to do business. But now we realize, I think, that we need to just be authentic, but the main thing is you need to always have a presence. You can't just post something on social media once a week and expect any traction from that. You've got to be active every day. And I'm not as active as I should be, honestly. Some days I only post once. And I try to find things that interest people and engage people. I don't post about LifeWave hardly ever, like, maybe once a week. Or maybe in my stories, but I think it works so well. And she's going to teach us this because she mentioned it on Saturday about being vague. You don't want to put out your company name and the names of the products, and you don't want to put out a call to action, message me and I can do this for you and I can do that for you. Then people just feel like they're being sold. So if you want to use social media, just be genuine, be yourself, find something that engages people that you love For me at one point, not as much now because Dr. Stan's doing most of the cooking, but at one point I was just posting food every day, really good, healthy, yummy food and just getting all kind of interaction. And positive things, that make people feel good or give people encouragement. I try to do that every day or two. But I think the main thing with social media is when you do post something, like I did do a before and after picture this morning of an incredible lady using the patches that's 85 years old. Like she looks like a different person in 6 months.
Don't you feel
And
if you post a picture like that, you really don't have to say much?
right,
The picture's
right.
worth 1,000 words.
Right. And
Yeah,
that picture actually, when I saw it, I forget where I saw it, had a big verbiage thing. And I just cut it down to just a few lines.
yeah,
And just more like it's just never too late.
yeah,
To regain your health was the gist of it, and told how old she was. Didn't do a call to action, but did have a person that lives right here in the town I've moved to that was a customer in another business say, send me information. And if you do post anything like that, you don't ever, ever, ever want to answer questions on social media because then other people might see that and, you know, they were going to ask the same question, but somebody else answered it and they saw the answer. So, don't ever answer questions, just private message people. And so that's what I did. But, the main thing I think is that when people do make comments or say, what are you talking about? Or, could I have information? Is just private message them, but you have to continue to follow up. You can't just follow up once or twice and expect them to
yeah,
get it,
yeah.
and I don't follow up and gush all over them. When I message them, I'm just thank you for, commenting on that. What do you have going on in your life physically that you need help with? And that's how I start the conversation.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes new people start the conversation, oh my gosh, this is so good. You've just got to hear about it and go to this website and do this and do that. You can't do that. You've got to be real and genuine, find out what's going on with them, and then just slowly give them information.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I think this could really
Mhm.
help you. Let me send you this website and I'll follow up with you tomorrow and answer your questions. And I kind of guide them to what I want them to see on the website. I use two different ones. And I'm enrolling two people this week that came from social media. I have known them in the past, but haven't talked to them in forever. And I've been following up with them for 5 or 6 weeks. Like you can't follow up once or twice and say, oh, they're not interested. They're just busy, guys. They're just busy.
Yeah.
So you
People
just
are
find
busy.
another way to follow up,
Yeah. I love that.
without being pushy. Sometimes my follow up is just, how are you doing? I know you were sick last week. It may not have anything to do with the post, but follow up is so, so important if you're going to
Yeah.
use social media at all.
Yeah. Well, you're good at follow up. So thank you for that,
Mhm.
Jody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Leah, you know what? You don't post a lot of stuff on your Facebook page as much as you do on your stories. Let's talk about stories a little bit. And because you really do a variety of things on your stories.
Stories, you guys, stories, running stuff on your stories. Keep in mind, it's only there for 24 hours. So it's something that you've got to keep on top of. But, honestly, Laura, the things that I post, and like Jody said, it may be just a before and after picture with no verbiage. But, the goal, you guys, is to give people value. Like recently, I've been posting. I made a post the other day about um, just different types of food. Maybe the other day, I did one about the good things that honey is good for. Right? There are so many natural modalities out there to help people with their health. Now, everyone on my page that is always in my stories, I promise you, they know that I have patches. They do know that. I don't have to blast that all the time and let that be all that's on my stories, because I want to bring value to people. And people are more inclined to flip through stories, right? Because they're only there for a few seconds and then they go on to the next one, than they are to stop and read post. They may scroll past it, like Jody said, if it's a picture that's of interest, that's what's going to grab them into your post. It's not all the verbiage that you wrote, right? It's that piquing that interest. So stories is a great way to keep engagement going, so people can get to know you, right? And I love what Jody said about authenticity. You guys, just be who you are. I am not Dr. Stacy. I do not have that content that she does. I don't have, that's not me. But I know I'm very passionate about health and wellness. I'm very passionate about what I eat. And those are the kinds of little things that people need to know about, whether or not they do them or not, but just adding value. So I find that keeping stuff running in my stories, it just keeps my name on their mind, right? I want them to come to my stories and see what I've posted today and not go to someone else's page. When we talk about, that's another important thing, you guys, it's a little bit off the stories, Laura, but sharing other people's pages. No, no, you do not share anyone's page. Why? They're going to their page. They may not come back to your page and you've lost them. So if you want to share someone's content, reword it a little bit, right? And just copy and paste it onto your page, because that's one of the things that Facebook looks at. If they've got 42 people that have all posted the same exact verbiage, that's a red flag, right? So I always try to reinvent my verbiage, but stories is a great way to keep people running through your funnel. They're seeing your stories. And it's also, quite frankly, like Jody said, it's a great way to go in and, reach out to someone. Hey, thanks for liking my story, or thanks for seeing my stories, and nothing else. So stories is a great avenue to keep you on people's minds.
The great thing about stories is your stories are viewed more in some aspects than your actual Facebook posts. People love stories. They're quick.
Yeah.
They're quick. And they're usually a picture of something, and people love pictures of things. Leah and Jody, I love how you guys said being authentic. You guys, I went live like Stacy did, and I know a lot of you shared those lives, and I get why you shared them. You didn't have the product yet. Just the minute you get your product, go live, unbox your box, and do you, because it's amazing all the people that I am talking to now because of that live, and the people that have signed up, or the orders I've even taken. So as soon as you guys get yours, do your thing, even if you shared it, right? I mean, Stacy, that was huge.
Yeah, it was really big. I mean, I like I said, I think I'm at around 5,000 views now. And I haven't done a live by myself in a long time. I go live with other people on their Facebook pages, their Instagram pages, of course, all the time. But I haven't done my own live in a really long time. And so I was kind of surprised at the number of views. But like you said, the shares, I know people are excited, they're wanting to share the information. It doesn't do them any good. Honestly, you guys, it just links everything right back to me, right? Because they're looking at me, they're seeing what I'm saying, and they're going, oh, wow, let me click on that random stranger and let me end up on your website and order, which is not what you want, right? You don't want them ending up on my site and ordering. So you don't want to share someone else's stuff they're doing. You want to go, okay, let me watch this. Let me take a few notes. My box comes in today. Let me go ahead and do my own unboxing. Let me wing it. Let me put myself out there. Let me get myself out of the comfort zone of, watching behind the screen everybody and what they're doing. And let me actually just, do something on my own. Be bold, be brave, put yourself out there. People love that. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. Why is Sue going live? What's happening on her page?
Yeah.
Why is Sherry going live? What is Beth doing? I don't understand. This girl never goes live. What? Michael's there with her? What are they up to? They're doing what? Right? People love that. They could give two craps about me and who I am, right? Oh, so she shared somebody else's. That's like sharing someone's cat video. It really is. Social media says no, 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 no to sharing. They say you're not authentic. You have no value to add. We're not going to give you anything, any views or any stuff. But when you do your own, they're like, wait, what? What is happening right now? And the same thing with the stories, just like Leah said, I'm huge on stories. I have been for years. When you post something to stories, like if you post my video to stories, like a little clip, the shorts that I do, it doesn't link back to me. If you've screen grabbed it and you've put it on your story, it's to you. You can see every person that sees every story you post. You can see exactly who sees it. And you can send them an inbox right there from that post. Thanks so much for the love on my post. Even if they didn't hurt you, it does not matter. You pretend like they did, right? That's why they're there. The stories are powerful, but the stories, you have to be on your A game. You cannot let them go. Because if, like Leah said, they're gone after 24 hours, if you don't see who saw them and you don't send them a message, you have lost that interaction. So if you're going to do a story, the whole point of doing the story is being on your A game with social media and saying, these are people I can reach out to. 300 people just saw this story. I'm going to reach out to all 300 people. I'm going to write their names down. Oh my gosh, cousin Bertha saw this story. I'm going to reach out to her. Girl, I saw you saw my story. Can you believe that? XYZ, whatever it is. You have to be on your A game if you're going to do stories. And that's why I said earlier, social media it's not for the faint of heart, is it? It is
No, it's not. It's constant.
On your A game. It is not for you like passively watching people if you want to build a business on social media. It's not a passive game.
Well, and Stacy, good point what you just said, because not reaching out to those people, I think probably half of the people on here thought when you said that, well, what do you say to them? You guys, what would you say to anybody that compliments you or watched you doing something? You would have a reaction. There's not a one thing to say to them. It's just thank you. What did you think? Is that amazing? They're either going to tell you it's amazing, you've lost your mind, and they didn't mean to click on your story, or tell me more. It's there's not a wrong thing to say. And I think a lot
And
of
I was going to say, Laura, too, back on the subject of live, you guys going live, you can be yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you don't say everything that you had written down in your notes, that's okay, because that's life, right? And you can really be authentic. Things don't have to be perfect to go live. Just get on and mix the powder up and talk about how good it tastes and some of the benefits, and boom. It doesn't have to be a long 15-minute live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
So I know Susan's not on here right now, you guys.
Stan but is though, Dr. Stan.
Yeah, Dr. Yep. And Stan, I'm going to call on you. I want you to go next. But I just wanted to say, you guys, Susan's always going live on her page. She's always doing little interviews. She's always popping up about something silly. Dawn was laying on the couch the other day watching football, and she gets on her vibration plate. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be all about LifeWave. And please do not make it all about LifeWave, because you will turn people off. They will stop watching you. They're like, I'm over this. She's just trying to sell me something. So don't go there. Stan? What you got, sir?
Well, over the last year and a half, I've started figuring out some of the algorithms. And actually, what's so cool is about a year and a half ago, I've got 3 pages I work with, public and private. And my public page has gone from probably less than 1,000 followers to 7,000. 2 of my private pages have gone from 800 to almost 30,000, and 1 went from about 800 to 4,000. Wow. And here's the things that I started doing. It's kind of a combination of what everybody has said. I got locked in to figuring out some of these algorithms. And what was interesting, while I'm figuring out what to do, Facebook is now helping me and telling me things what I need to do to get more followers. In fact, the last few months, they've awarded me a Rising Star Facebook content person. And the only thing really that I changed, Laura, over the last year and a half was number one, engagement posts. And it's not about LifeWave. I learned this a few years ago. One company called this burning the fields. If everybody's out there, doing all this stuff with LifeWave, before and after pictures, join my team, you just look like an advertisement. And people know when they're being advertised to, and if they finally click you off because all you're doing is advertising your business. And so, number one, you can't do that. And as everybody has said tonight, what I started doing, there's three things that started to increase my algorithms. And what I discovered was that what I was doing on my public page and my two private pages, Facebook was counting everything together, which I thought was really interesting. And so my two private pages are just about things of health and nutrition, things about passionate about. So when they get on those pages, they know the posts that I do on those pages are going to have to do with products, services, health, and wellness. On my public page, which I build up a lot of my algorithms, I'll do some what I call mystery posts, attraction posts to get people to start engaging with me. And the way you do that is you got to be able, what Facebook is looking for is people responding in your comments. Mm-hmm. And the more comments you start getting in your post, that starts upping your algorithms. But then secondly, you have to respond to the comments. And so when people are commenting, you need to respond. And the more comments and the more dialogue you can get on a post, Facebook starts to reward you. Oh, more people start showing up. I get more followers. I get more people. I have no idea where they came from, or starting because they start boosting my post publicly somehow. And so I started getting all these people. So engagement posts where I asked a question, something funny. What did you think about this? Have you ever done that? That started increasing the responses. Then the stories. Facebook is looking at the responses that you get with your post. And then I started doing stories. And then if I don't do a story, Facebook will come to me and say, here's a suggestion for a story. It's amazing how Facebook is helping me now. I just praise God every day. I'm like, thank you, Facebook, because they're reminding me you need to do a story where they'll suggest something from the post that I'm doing that I'm getting a lot of engagements with, which is really cool. Then the third thing is, when you go live, they start to build your algorithms too. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but what they're looking for, even when you're going live, is, are you engaging people? Are people responding? Are people making comments? And so what I found, over the last year with my other pages where I'm promoting health and wellness, talking about the LifeWave products, when they land on the page, they know that this private page is talking about this. So I start engaging people, but when I do the education, I want to make sure that every day I get 15, 20 people responding to my post. And then I go back in and comment. And then if it's specific, then I just say, as Jody and everybody says, private message me, because I don't do any thing other than answer a yes or no question or be vague about it. And I said, PM me. And so then when they PM me, then I'm able to make the LifeWave introduction and start to talk about, what they need to use, what they don't need to use, and all that kind of stuff. I do not do any of that on my public or private pages. My goal is to always engage people, get the comments going, respond to it. And that's how the pages, how I've gone from probably less than 1,000 followers to 7,000 followers, 800 people on one page to almost 30,000, and basically 400 to 800 that's gone up to 4,000 or 5,000. And it's all because Facebook is driving people to my pages now, because I've got my algorithms going and they're rewarding me for engaging people and getting people to respond to me. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Wow, Stan. Good for you, man. That's amazing. That's
It
amazing.
is.
So, Stacy, I think I saw Miss Verholtz pop in here. So, Susan, where are you, love? Can you unmute? Where is she?
Hello. Yes, it's not letting me unmute. I'm sorry. Now I think
Okay,
you can
did you
hear me.
get
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I
perfect.
did. Forgive me. We were at an in-person meeting, and I have my eyes on the road, but I am in my car.
Well, we would like for you to keep your eyes on the road.
Yes,
but
of course, of course.
If you could give us like 3 or 4 minutes of, because I kind of boasted about you a little bit because I wasn't sure you were going to come on because of
Oh.
your meeting.
Yes.
But you're always on your social media. Can you talk briefly about that, and give everybody an idea of what you're doing and what you're seeing the result thereof?
Sure. So I'm sure you've heard some amazing things tonight, because we have so many hardworking, talented, experienced, wise people, and I, for one, and I know everyone will agree, we're just so grateful to have the synergy and the honor of working with one another. Best thing ever. But with my social media, I try to mix it up. I don't have a separate page for patches and then a separate page for lifestyle. It's all just a lifestyle. And so I try to do some things, and it's almost like a recipe where I do some things about my family. I do some things about travels, that I do some things about a good inspirational quote. Clothing, because I've had this home-based clothing business. And then I pop in a testimonial about the patches. And then and then I try to get people going, like answering questions. If somebody comments, I'll ask them a question sometimes about their comment, or I'll comment on their comment, and then you get a conversation going. And I think that's one of the things that I know I'm looking forward to, that training we're going to be having, and I know we're going to learn so much about keeping the social media. But that's what I've done over the years. And of course, and we'll learn more about algorithms and whatnot. But I have a lot of like recorded stuff, but I know like the live stuff gets even more. And that's a thing I need to get back at, because I used to be a little bit better at that, is the going live. But even going live, I heard a speaker one day talking about this commercial that was being shot. It was an infomercial. And in one of the infomercials, they were doing this blender, and the lid came off and it spilled, and it was kind of messy, and they were all embarrassed because it was live TV. And then, they did it another day and everything was perfect. Well, guess what show sold the most blenders? The one where they spilled. Yeah. Because everybody knows there's not one human being on the planet that is perfect. And so when we're trying to be so perfect, it almost sometimes causes people to scrutinize you a little bit more, and they're looking for the thing that's not perfect. So, if you show yourself not being perfect, there was also an example of a man who went for, several people who went for an interview, and this guy spilled his coffee on the table as he's having the interview with the people. And he was so mortified and so embarrassed, and they hired him. And later he's like, why did you guys hire me? And they said, well, you made a mistake. You obviously were kind of embarrassed about it, but you're real, and you just kept going, and it was all good. You were, and so that made them stand out instead of the stiff person that was interviewing and acted all perfect, because all the people working in that office knew they weren't perfect, and none of us are. So not, don't be afraid to show that, you're not just perfect. Like your hair's not perfect every day. Your makeup's not perfect every day. It's okay that, that you're real. Like, so the other day, just to be funny and bring in a little bit of a lighthearted thing, everybody's watching, football. And so we were football couch potatoes, right? So I had to get Don, who sometimes people think, oh, Dr. Don, he's just always so perfect, with his learn to relax, get to bed on time, do your exercise. So I thought, we're getting off this couch. And I said, I am getting off the couch. So look who's still on the couch. Don kind of waves, and I get over on the rebounder and he kind of waves, and people got a kick out of that because Dr. Don wasn't being perfect. So anyhow, it's so
Thank
mixing
you.
up that recipe of not just spamming people with everything, all things LifeWave, and not always doing like everything about look at how perfect my life is, but making things that are real, and then people relate, and I think that's how you get the conversation, and people feel like there's like a warmness because they know that you're human too.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to jump on.
Thank you.
Stacy, we have some more SPDs on here that I'm sure have got some tremendous things to share. Oh, you're muted, baby. You're muted.
Sorry. Yes, we have Charlene Saylor on here. Charlene, can you tell us your tips for success and things you are doing that is working really well, please, ma'am? Because you've promoted out a couple new senior directors here in the last 2 weeks, so something's moving in your team.
Super exciting. Well, I absolutely loved listening to what everybody had to say on here tonight. It was such good, amazing tips, because the social media thing is way out of my comfort zone. So it is something that I am one of those things that you don't like doing, but you have, you're growing as a person and you're doing this to help other people and help ourselves. So, I am by nature very private. I don't like putting my stuff out there. And so this has been a very big, hard thing for me to do, is just like start putting my stuff on Facebook, what's going on in my family, what we're doing, But it really, so all of you that don't do social media, get out of your comfort zone and do it, because it really does. People are watching you, whether you realize it or not. I mean, sometimes I am astounded at the people that message me off of a post or something, and you do get insane engagement when you're doing, the videos and stories, and so, yes, it really does make a big difference, and you can see who's watching and who's not. And I mean, and I'm still learning, but it really is incredible the people that will start messaging you even when you don't know what you're doing. I mean, my kids are starting to helping me, because literally I am not a social media person. So I'm learning, I'm getting out of my comfort zone, starting to like, do the little stories, and we have our own little family page now that it actually, we're really enjoying it, because my kids and I are engaging with each other and saying like, oh, hey, we're out with the goats today. I put a patch on the goat, I mean, or, we had this amazing story yesterday, that I have to post it because it was just phenomenal, with a horse that was down, and Robbie went to go help with it. And it was just incredible. And so people wanted to know that. I mean, when they want to see what is going on in your life, and they see the progress. And so anyways, I'm here to tell you that for you that are not comfortable with it, get out of your comfort zone and doing it, because you have absolutely no idea who's watching. And it is surprising to me, the people that I have messaged me that actually saw our story or saw my kids do something and then asked me other questions. So yes, and all the people that shared like those, I'm learning tonight just from this call. I'm taking notes, because I've never done this to just do it, social media. So thank you all on here for sharing because that was amazing. And for those of you that it is super uncomfortable, get out of your comfort zone and do it because really people are paying attention to what you're saying.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank
I
you,
would like to
Shirley.
see the goat with the patch. That's what I would like to see on your social
Okay.
media. Thank you.
Maybe I should have Farmer Brent patch his cow.
The cows.
Yes.
Patch the cows.
You can patch your goat. No, I'll have him patch the cows. Mama cow that's getting ready to have her baby down there that he was feeding last night.
Oh,
Awesome, Charlene. Yeah, I know. We're gonna have a baby. I want it. I want
Oh.
it. I want to keep it. I want to bring it home. We don't have a fence though.
well,
Turn it
build
into
one.
a pet.
Build
I
it and they
know.
will come.
The
They
last
don't stay
baby,
babies for long.
the last baby they took, that they actually, well, someone stole two of the babies. So they took the third baby. I know, how horrible, right? They took the third baby and they took it home. It's in its backyard. And so now it's growing up. And I'm like, we could do that. We could have a cow out back. We have 8 acres. We could just, but then I'd like, want to bring it in. But anyway, so we may have a cow. I don't know. The mom's gonna have a baby any day now. We go down there every day checking to see, but she hasn't had it yet. So we can patch our cows. We can patch our cows, patch our goats. People love that stuff, man. They love the crazy stuff, the authentic stuff. Beth, Michael, you guys patch your chickens. Post that chicken condo you got out back. I mean, they've got a Taj Mahal for their chickens out back. So, just be real, be raw, be authentic, be you, be whatever. Who cares if people like it, don't like it? It doesn't matter, It's just you're just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. So, Superman Gary, where are you
Uh-huh.
at, buddy? There you are. Front and center.
Now this
with
is going to be
Superman.
good.
Well, I mean, a lot of good information. I'm so glad I got the right time in my calendar and I didn't come on at 9 p.m. Eastern like I did a couple of other times. So this is excellent. Social media is certainly, I mean, what's going on with Dr. Stan is amazing. That is, really, I mean, congratulations. 30,000 followers. OMG, that's huge. Um, well, I'm getting ready to come out of, I don't know if it's retirement on social media, but I got two influencers that I've kind of been courting, and we finally are kind of sealing the deal. I personally like, running their business, doing lives. I mean, as some may know, I did quite a few with Crystal Forever, and that was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, then kind of took a break. I was talking with a lady today, and I'm a political guy, as some of you may or may not know. It's really my passion, our country, and the American way of life. And if they could pay me for that, you know what, I'd be 24/7. I love what's going on, and I have, and I was just telling Barbara, I said, "Babe, my passion's political," and so and after having my hand, slapped a few times with compliance, I've really kind of gotten a little gun shy, and it hasn't affected the paycheck because I've been out and about, with local businesses, getting them on board. So, but social media for I think is good. I'm like I said, getting ready to throw my hat back in the ring on TikTok and Instagram. And I don't have a problem getting in front of a camera. I like, hey, I'm always me. I don't pretend to be anything. I don't know how you would do that anyway. I think Leah talked about that, and I'm just thinking, how can you be someone else? How do you not be yourself? So I'm comfortable in my own skin. If you're uncomfortable, like Charlene was saying, get over it. You're not that big of a deal. Hate to break that news to you. I'm not that big of a deal. But I think if you follow some of what's going on here, that it's certainly a place to go. I mean, what you've done, Stacy, is incredible with, so much. And I'm getting ready to throw my hat into that ring too. I got someone who put together the shorts for me. And so I'm getting ready to kind of do some stuff that I haven't done in a while, and I love seeing Laura's shorts and I see Stacy's. I don't see too many. I don't see Susan too often, but I pretty much do stories. I'm a story guy, and you know, it's you go to my pages and it's political stories. So I haven't really had a lot to do with LifeWave, like I said, but all that's getting ready to change. We talked about that we're getting ready to finally say stem cells, which I think is going to be a game changer. I talked to Geraldo. They're kind of with compliance. They're about ready to pull the plug. And so that'll be huge. But I think it's one of the again. I'm blown away with what, and I'm thrilled for Stan and Jody with that success and that the whole team. It's just I'm thrilled to be here and to be a part, like Susan said, cheering everybody on to what they can do, and I'm glad to help anyone I can. Okay, so I'm excited. I can't say enough about what's going on. And gosh, you better get some dark sunglasses because the future is just going to be so bright.
Stacy, Gary, you are very political. I love it. Okay. I mean, I do. I love it. You know who I'm married to. Okay. So, but don't you find because you post about a passion or a hobby or a thing that really attracts a lot of people, right? They begin to trust you. They begin to find out who you are. You become relatable to them. Oh, wow. He thinks like I think maybe a little bit, but I'm not sure about this. And then all of a sudden you post a story on the patch. And then they're like, oh, well, wait a minute, what's this? Right? It really gets their interest up. And the only reason I say that, you guys, it's because please, with every fiber of my body, do not just post patch, 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 LifeWave, 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 Syllogize, 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 because they're going to say sayonara, like they're out. So do you have a hobby? Do you love doing things? What do you love? Because when you post on social media, and I can share this, if you're not posting the things that you love that come natural to you and it becomes more of a, okay, what am I going to post now? Or let me take a picture of my plate, or, hey, can you move over to the left so I can get this picture so I can put it on my social media? That gets monotonous. It gets heavy. It gets hard. It gets it's not joyful. But if you're posting about something that you sincerely love doing, family, whatever, and it's coming from your heart, it's authentic, then you're not going to have a worry. And then you slip in your other passion, which is helping people, you're golden. Yeah. Right, Stacey?
Yeah, that's the key, is adding value to people, whatever that may look like. For Gary, it happens to be adding information about what's going on in our country, right? For me, it's out information about your health in all different ways, right? For everyone, it's different. If you're adding value out there, people are looking to you as a resource. They're looking to you as a resource for information because they, trust me, whether you know them or not, they know you, like you, and trust you from social media. Because when you see them in person, they know exactly who you are and everything about you, and you can't even remember their names sometimes. Right, Dean, Lindsay, last weekend, I'm like, look, if people come up to me, introduce yourself and ask them their name so that I know who they are when they know me and I don't know them. Because that's what social media does. You want to be that person if you want a social media presence. And like Charlene said, she didn't want one, but she's doing it anyways because she sees the power in it. She sees the reach that is available out there to not just immediately impact the people she knows, but to reach their peoples, right, globally. And that's what you're going to learn on this 10-day challenge. You're going to learn that the algorithms and things have changed, and now social media is throwing people to you that relate to you based on the content you're watching, the things you're clicking on. So keep that in mind for those of you that are like, hey, I don't know anything about social media, but let me give it a whirl, just like Charlene's doing. Laura, that was you and I back in 2012 when social media came on board and we didn't know anything about it, but we're like, let's give it a whirl. Let's see how it goes. And it paid off big time, right? It allowed us to expand and reach people all over the globe that we would never have known. One little post I'll remember in that previous company, Laura, when they opened Italy, and I said, who do I know in Italy? On my Facebook, our company just opened that country. Is there anyone in Italy on my Facebook page? Boom, 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 boom. I'm still friends with most of those people that commented that I immediately friend requested, right?
Or they lived in the States, but they had family over there and they would comment, go, oh, but my sister's over there. Perfect.
Yes, well, just a little bit ago, I posted about the London event next month. I posted the link and I posted the graphic. I had the graphic made up of all the leaders that are going to be presenting. And I said, who do you know over there? And there were a couple people said, well, I know people in London. If I hadn't have posted that, then they would have never even known it existed. They would have never reached out to their people in London that they knew. Because again, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning. Are you thinking globally? They weren't thinking about a global business before I did that post. I don't know if they watched Vision or not. I have no idea. But they were not thinking about, I know people in other countries until I did that post about London and said, who do you know in this area? And they said, well, what if I reach out to them? What will happen? We'll invite them, right? Send them the information. Let me know who they are so I can welcome them and give me your website so we can make sure they get signed up with you before they walk out that door and they can enjoy the entire boot camp for free. You have to think bigger. And social media gives you a world to play with. A world to play with. I say this all the time. There are 8 billion people on the planet. Are you so focused in on these little bitty baby minute pieces of people that you know in your small circle? Are you open to God's unlimited abundance of people that are there waiting patiently for you to be open to them, to join you in this business? Give me all the global brand partners around the world. Look at Dean. I love it. Yes, I want to travel the globe. And it's a tax write-off while I do. Sign me up for that, right? I live on my time, my dime, and I tell you what I'm going to write off, which will be my life, right? My travel, the people that I'm getting to see the world with. I can't think of anything better than that. This is literally an opportunity right now in LifeWave to make a massive difference in your future. And if you're coming to boot camp next week, Gary's going to be talking about leaving a legacy as a 73-year-old man, what he has created for his life, for his family, for his team, that legacy that he's leaving, that wisdom and knowledge that he's imparting on people to be able to take this and run with it and do the same thing. That's what this is really about. I mean, it's about so much bigger than this diagnosis or that diagnosis, which are very important. They are important. People are suffering, and we know they are. And we know this technology helps them over time. But it is so much bigger than that. And you do have an opportunity to not only impact people physically, mentally, and emotionally, but financially. You have a massive impact for your life, for your family, for your future. My number one goal when listening to Jack Canfield at conference was to leave a legacy for Trey, right? That was my driving force. I don't even want to say a goal. My purpose for this is to leave that example and that legacy for him for generations to come, because the things that I'm doing every day, the things he just texted me a minute ago, he goes, Mom, I'm on my way home right now. Let's create that video for London that we need to post in the page. That's important. That he knows that's important, right? He has a team in Europe. We're going to come home. We're going to post a video. We're going to create a video. We're going to send it to Alex and Claudia. They're going to post it on their social media so we can share with people that we're coming and we want to meet them and we want to see them and get to know them. That's important, you guys. It's really important. And the things you do, your kids are watching, right? Your social media is watching. and you can be a huge inspiration for people. A huge, and I don't mean in a fake way like, oh, whatever. I mean your real life, authentic ups and downs and all the things, chickens, goats, or cows, whatever it may be, can inspire people to get out there and do something different, right? Leah?
I wanted to just say something that you guys can do right now, and maybe you have, but if you have your settings set to private, the only people that will see your post are the few of however many friends you have. You want to set those to public because you want access to the 4 million people that are on Facebook every single day. So check your settings. And you guys, yes, I get messages from random crazy people weekly. I don't have to
Daily.
accept it. I don't have to respond. Just block them. They're gonna come. They're gonna come from the woodworks. But they're not our people. And you can click on their profile. If it's someone that just created a profile and they've added 10 pictures on the same day at the same hour, they're just trying to, what do you call that when people are
Spamming.
spam? Yeah.
Spamming,
Yeah. So
scamming,
check
yeah.
your settings and open your page up to public because you want all 4 million people every day to have access to your page.
Yeah. Great.
Well,
tip.
and Stacy, I know it's like after 9, and Leah, that's awesome because I think a lot of people forget to do that. But you are going to London, and our faces might not be on that graphic, you guys, but there is a way for you to do a graphic and let your people, okay, your expansion of people on your Facebook or your social media, that your colleague is coming over. Who is in London? We're coming over. We're coming over can mean a multitude of things. That doesn't mean you're physically getting on the plane and flying over across the pond. So why not take advantage of Dr. Stacy being over there and posting something like that on your page? If you get one interest, it's one that you didn't have before across the pond. And it only and always starts with one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, why not? I'm not going this time. But I would be a fool not to do something like that because she's going. Right? She's going to go. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would miss that opportunity. Put it out there.
And don't put out the link and all the
No.
information. Don't
No.
put out all the information. Again, remember last thing, social media
Finesse.
is about having a conversation with people. It's about creating curiosity and them sending you the inbox going, I've seen your post. I need to hear more. I need to know what you're talking about. Hey, I saw something about London. Are you going there? I know somebody there. Hey, I used to live there. You want to create that interaction. It is literally about the mystery, about the curiosity. It is not about a list of all the details of everyone's disease and their personal experience. For God's sakes, it is not. That is not how you create mystery and conversation. And I see it every day with people. They have long lists of people's testimonials, which are incredible. But I'm telling you, that leaves no mystery, that leaves no conversation. People are like, oh, great, Sally had 5 million diseases and now they're gone. That's fantastic. But what about me? Because I don't have that issue. Right? So it's really about that creative communication, which last thing, Gary, you're Florence Shen, right? Getting tapped in, right? Getting tapped into those creative ideas and tapped into, your higher source and connecting with God and being open to, just like you told me yesterday and today on our Zoom, you go by inspiration, you go by whatever you're led to do and say in the moment because you are reading, listening, and tapped in. Tuned in, turned on. That's where you want to live in that space. And so when you do a post, it's something you're divinely led to do, right? You're not just randomly like searching out here like, oh, let me find 5 posts because this is the time during today that I'm going to do my post. No, it's dropped in. right?
Yeah.
And you're out there talking to people at the stores, at the meetings, at the greetings, and all the stuff because you're divinely led to do it. If you can get into that space, it's a sweet space to create life. It really is.
Really
got
one of the
one.
best books we ever read.
I got one add-on to my affirmation that I stated the other day when I had mentioned that I was asking God to provide me with another Onyx Coal. I've added to that, or a Dr. Stacy.
Yeah, the second one has no drama or chaos or insanity in it.
I
Exactly.
So let's
understand.
go
I
with
understand.
number
Hold
two,
on,
not
hold
number one.
on.
You can pick a Laura Balzer, a Leah Stastny, a Jody Gravely, a Susan. Charlene, you can pick anybody but that other one for me
Yeah,
in my book, because that one
I
has a
hear you.
whole lot of drama to it. We have no time for that. Bless her soul. So
Yes, yes.
I love it. Thank you guys for being here this evening. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, these tips and suggestions maybe sparked your ideas, sparked your curiosity, sparked you to think, could I maybe possibly do something like this? I don't know. Those crazy people are at the top of the company and they're doing crazy things. So why not me, right? Why not me? So thank you all for being here. Thank you to all of you amazing senior presidential directors that shared your tips and tools and wisdom and knowledge tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing. I look forward to seeing all of you at the boot camp next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.